Wait, you thought that ring was for you? The words weren't even whispered. They were said loud enough for the entire table to hear. His sister laughed softly into her wine glass. Across the restaurant, a couple turned to look at me. Daniel leaned back in his chair, smiling the way people do when they think something is harmless. "We've been together 10 years, he said casually. Of course people assume things. I felt every eye at that birthday dinner shift toward me. 10 years. Plans, apartments, vacations, shared passwords, shared bills. Everyone always said the same thing. Your proposal must be coming soon. Daniel never corrected them. That night, I smiled politely and changed the subject. But 3 weeks later, a photo appeared online, and the ring in that photo was never meant for me. If you enjoy stories about quiet strength and the moments that reveal people's true character, consider subscribing. The calm stories are usually the ones that stay with you the longest. Because what happened after that photo was something even Daniel didn't expect. Daniel and I met when we were 24. We were the kind of couple people assumed would last forever. We built routines together. Sunday grocery trips, late-night takeout after long work days, arguments about paint colors we never actually used. For years, our friends joked about one thing. When's the proposal? Daniel always laughed. Soon, he'd say, and every time he said it, he would squeeze my hand under the table. So I waited, not impatiently, not desperately, just patiently. Because 10 years builds a kind of quiet confidence, or at least that's what I believed. But something shifted during the last year. Daniel started traveling more for work, at least that's what he said. More conferences, more late calls, more weekends that suddenly had important meetings. At first, I didn't question it. Trust becomes habit after a decade, but small things started stacking up. A missed anniversary dinner, a birthday he rescheduled twice, a phone suddenly turned face down on every surface. Still, I didn't accuse him. Because accusations don't reveal truth. Time does. But then the photo appeared. It was posted by someone I didn't know, a woman named Rachel. The caption was simple, "Best night of my life." In the photo, Daniel was kneeling, holding a small velvet box. Rachel's hands covered her mouth in shock. A diamond ring glowed under restaurant lights. And in the background, I recognized the place instantly, the same restaurant where he once joked about my expectations. For a long moment, I just stared at the image. My phone screen dimmed twice before I moved again. 10 years. And the proposal happened somewhere I wasn't invited. But strangely, I didn't cry. That confused me more than the photo, because instead of heartbreak, I felt something quieter. Clarity. But the next thing Daniel did made everything even clearer. 2 days later, he came home like nothing had happened. He set his keys down. "Hey," he said casually. I nodded. Neither of us mentioned the photo. Not yet. During dinner, he finally said it. "I need to tell you something." His voice carried that rehearsed calm people use when they believe they're being reasonable. "I met someone. I took a sip of water." He continued. "It wasn't planned. Things just happened." The words sounded like lines from a script. Then he added something that told me exactly who he was. "I didn't want to hurt you, but the truth was, he already had." And strangely, that wasn't the moment that hurt most. What he said next did. "You'll be okay," he added. "You're strong, strong." The word people use when they expect you not to react. I simply nodded. But Daniel didn't realize something important. He thought the story was already over. It wasn't. A week later, our friends organized a small gathering. Apparently, Daniel wanted to share the news. I almost didn't go, but curiosity is a powerful thing. When I arrived, Rachel was there. She looked exactly like the photos. Bright smile, excited energy. Daniel stood beside her, proud. "Everyone," he said, raising a glass. I want you to meet my fiancé." The room filled with polite applause. I noticed something interesting. A few people looked at me instead, waiting, watching. But I simply smiled and clapped with everyone else. Rachel eventually approached me. Her voice was gentle. "I've heard so much about you," she said. I believed her, because Daniel loved telling stories, especially the kind that made him look better. But Rachel said something unexpected. "He told me you two broke up last year." For a moment, the room seemed very quiet. I didn't react. Instead, I asked one simple question. "When did he tell you that?" "March," she said. "March." That caught my attention, because in March, Daniel and I had signed a new lease together. That realization created a small shift in the room, and that was when the first piece of truth quietly appeared. But that still wasn't the real turning point. Before we continue, I'm curious about something. If you had discovered a lie like that after 10 years, would you confront them immediately or stay calm and watch what happens next? Because what happened next revealed something no one expected. After that conversation, I didn't argue. I didn't accuse Daniel in front of everyone. Instead, I simply asked Rachel another question. "Did he show you our apartment?" She shook her head. "No, he said he moved out months ago." That was interesting, because our lease agreement sat in my bag, signed by both of us. Rachel frowned slightly. Daniel shifted beside her. I could see the tension now, small but growing. So I did the simplest thing possible. I pulled out the document, not dramatically, just calmly. "This is our lease renewal," I said quietly. "Signed 4 months ago." The room went still. Rachel looked at Daniel, Daniel looked at the floor, and suddenly the confident storyteller had no script left. That moment was the mini climax. But the real shift happened seconds later. Because Rachel opened her phone. She scrolled through her messages. Then she turned the screen toward him. "You said she moved out," Rachel said softly. Daniel didn't answer. Silence can expose more truth than arguments ever could. One of our friends finally spoke. "Daniel, what's going on?" And that was the moment everything collapsed. Rachel slowly removed the ring, placed it on the table. Then she looked at me. "I'm sorry," she said, not dramatically, just honestly. Daniel tried to explain. "It's complicated, but the truth is rarely complicated. It's usually just inconvenient." Within minutes, Rachel walked out. Half the room followed, and Daniel stood there alone. That was the main climax. Not loud, not chaotic, just quiet consequences unfolding in real time. A month later, I moved into a smaller apartment. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. 10 years taught me something important. Waiting isn't weakness. Trusting someone isn't foolish. But staying after clarity appears, that would have been. Daniel still sends messages sometimes. Mostly apologies, mostly explanations. I don't respond. Because closure doesn't always come from conversations. Sometimes it comes from silence. And if you've ever experienced a moment where someone showed you exactly who they were, you understand this feeling. If this story resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Sometimes the calmest endings teach us the strongest lessons. And sometimes the ring that wasn't meant for you is actually the moment that sets you free.